Hi, everybody. I technically should be asleep right now, but I had a conversation with someone, and it went over because I was going to do this earlier. But that let me know I had to come up here. And for those that are watching or that may watch this on Instagram, I had to. I know I said I was going to stop doing the live, but I felt like it was necessary for people to see on Instagram as well. So if you're not following me on Instagram but are watching on YouTube, here that's my Instagram handle. And if you are a first time watcher, thank you for tuning into the Healing Room Tarot with yours truly, Magoon. I am an intuitive healer, feeler, and seer. I do operate in mediumship gifts. I operate in multiple spiritual gifts because I am a spiritual being in a physical body to it in its truest form. And one thing about me, as a child, I recognized that I was more spiritual than I was religious. And so when people want to talk to me about religion, I am here for it. But in tonight's conversation, what I was getting was I had someone that tried to give me a sneak attack. But the problem with it is when people who are so religious get to the point where they want to start changing people, that is where they go wrong. If you are a person and you are trying to change someone, that is not your job. That is not your responsibility. That is spirit's job. That is spirit's responsibility because we each have our own path. We cross paths for a certain reason, for a certain season for some of us. But that does not mean that we make somebody do something that they don't want to do. That is not what we do. Um, I'm going to bring this up because I have been watching. I've been playing catch up. I've been playing catch up on the Diddy trial, and it's not so much as me being consumed by what's happening with his trial, but it's me because I'm kind of a part of it in a way. And so for years, the first time it happened was in 2006, and I was still in college. I had a dream that he invited me to his bedroom. I had a dream. And years later, I can't remember the second time I had the dream, but I had a second dream. And in both dreams, he was wearing a white robe, all white sheets. I don't know what I was wearing, but I also don't know if I was viewing it as a from a perspective of me spiritually being there but looking through the eyes of someone else, or if I was astroplaning there. I don't know. I just recall having these dreams and him beckoning to me. So I know that whatever happened in this trial, whatever was done was something spiritually driven, meaning I do believe that there was a spiritual entity that has intervened into his life in some sort of a way. So I'm going to say that. And I'm listening to the case because I'm trying in my physical and spiritual mind, I'm figuring out what that is, right? But I do know the main thing that has been coming out of this case from the videos that I have been watching is the fact that he has been trying and had not trying, but has been controlling people for years. And when you have to control people, and I always say this, When you have to control somebody else, that is not natural, because you're not allowing that person, those persons, to be who they're meant to be. You're trying to make them become something that they are not. And that is where the church also gets it wrong. So this person wanted to talk to me about several different types of topics. And the thing is, what I told the person is that what you're trying to do is you're trying to make me believe that what I know what I know about myself is wrong. And that is the wrong way of thinking. When you know who you are, you don't need outside validation from anybody, be it society, be it social media, be it anybody religious. You don't need any of that if you know who you are to your core. And I said to this person, because they were talking uh biblically, because it was a biblical talk, I was raised in the church. And I said, you know what? What you're telling me are things that people have taught you. However, the Bible also talks about self reflection. All religions talk about self reflection. Why? Because we first must have to understand who we are to our core. When we find that out, when we figure that out, when we come to know who we are, just like how people have allergies to certain foods, to certain plants, we begin to understand spiritually what is for us and what is not for us. That is why we have different people in what is it, pop cultural things, because everybody is not attracted to the same things. I'm a monolith because, hey, I'm one of a few rare people who likes a lot of different things, who can have conversations with lots of different people. I have friends in different religious groups who believe different things, and I have never once tried to change that about them, because that is not my job. That is not my job. Is to love them. It's all about love. It has always been about love. And where people got the hippies messed up is that they were like, oh, they just hide, they don't know. No, it's always been about love. When you can love somebody else who's different from you don't have to change them. You don't even have the want to change them, because that is who they are naturally. All I know is that I just have to love you and let you be, because that is how the creator, that is how spirit has made us all. And so that's why for tonight's topic, I just said, I'm going to talk about, why people want to change other people. We have to let each other be. And I prayed a prayer. There's a certain prayer that I prayed, and I prayed it this morning, and I let the person know, like, hey, we're having this conversation because of a prayer that I prayed this morning. Well, technically yesterday morning. But either way, we're having this conversation because that's spirit's way of letting me know, hey, I'm answering your prayers right now. We all have interactions with each other because that is a turning point for somebody. And I let that person know, hey, I'm your turning point for something that you're not seeing in your life, which is why you have a struggle. And before that conversation, we had a totally different conversation, not even remotely close to what we were talking about. And I had to reference that conversation in this religious talk, because I said, remember when I said X, Y, and Z to you, that that's not who you are. So why would you even do those things? When you don't know who you are, you will try on different hats, you will try on different masks, but that's not you. That is why certain people, when they really don't like something and they try to pretend like they like it, people see right through it. They know that the mask that you're wearing is a mask. And some people think that they can hide that well. But when you are a visionary, such as myself, when you are a seer, when you have the gift and ability to see through things and see through people and see situations as they are in real time, nothing surprises us. And I had to let this person know, you tried to sneak attack me because you didn't know who I was. You thought that I was just a normal person. You did not know that I was a seer. You did not know that I'd have gifts. You did not know that I speak with spirit on a daily basis. I am equipped for all types of conversations. I don't have to prepare as if I'm going to a legal case at all. I get downloads in real time. I see things in real time, even my own situations. Even when I struggle, I know what's going on. I just wish it would speed up. And that has been my conversation lately, honestly. But we have to recognize that when, and for those that are looking for the spiritual progress report, let me go ahead and say this. We have to know that when we're progressing, it's not all the time going to look pretty. We're going to have ugly moments, right? And those ugly moments are there because they're pointing us in the right direction. And so that is what I said to this person. Where are you not looking that spirit has been trying to get your attention? Where are the things that's in your life that you say, oh, no, that's not for me. I'm not going to pay attention to that. Oh, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to do that thing. Because those are the very things that you're supposed to be paying attention to. For example, where I am living now, I fought hard. I'm not going to say tooth and nail, but I did fight very hard. I'm like, this is not where you're trying to send me. There's nothing there for me. I only know one person there, and it's no need for me to really be. It's no reason for me to be there. I'm gonna set my mind on going back, moving up north. My home base was in North Carolina. I said I'm gonna go back up north. I'm gonna go New Jersey, New York area, maybe even Philadelphia, or the Pennsylvania. Let me not even say Philadelphia, but just Pennsylvania. Period. I'll be up north. Like I can deal with up north. I love up north. That's where I should go. That's where most of my family are. You know what? You want me to go where? No, 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 no. No. That's no. You're not saying that to me. Nope. 7 different signs pointed me to where I'm at now. 7. 7. One of which was my GPS. And I was like, what? What? Okay. But since I've been here, things have happened for me that I normally have not experienced. I've witnessed myself grow even more spiritually. Uh, I just made an announcement. If you didn't see last cards and Tuesday before last in Cards and Conversation, I'm going back to school. That opened up for me. And not only am I going back to school, everything that I said that I wanted in the school is where I'm going. Like the fine details that I said I would go back to school if the school has has this type of program and have me doing this. And not only am I going to the school or have been accepted to the school, we'll be attending in August, but it is setting me up to do things on a global perspective. And it's a new department in this institution, a new department. So it's like with me saying no, I was going against what was already aligned for my purpose and destiny. And you can't do that because you miss out. You miss out on who you're supposed to intervene and talk to. You miss out on your blessings. You miss out on what Spirit has laid up for you. So you can kick and fight and scream the whole entire time, but your situation is not going to change until what you've been fighting against, you look at it, you face it, and you embrace it. And when you embrace it, everything falls into place. There's no struggle. There's no second thoughts. There's no heavy breathing. What they say on the fine print on the commercials? No, let's see what they say: runny nose, runny eyes, sneezing, diarrhea, all of that. There's none of that. There's no side effects of that type. The only side effect that happens is that you start to actually align yourself with where you're supposed to be, and things start opening for you like never before. Like even when I moved to this new location, I was going through some old receipts. I thought I spent $1,000 on a rental truck that hauled all of my furniture, including my car at the time. And when I looked, it was only $750. And I said, I moved all of my stuff, including a car, for $750. That was mad cheap. That was really cheap. It was not expensive at all. But guess what? When you're in alignment, things happen that way. When you're meant to be, you'll have certain conversations that spark other conversations. Hence, tonight's spiritual progress report. So I want to ask Spirit. Hold on, is this? Yeah, that's not supposed to be there. What is the mindset that you want the collective to know? What is happening with our mindsets? What is opening and aligning for us? It's a lot of things happening, baby. I will say that this Queen of Pentacles came out. It was like upright. I'm gonna put her back in the deck. Let me see. Okay, yeah. I think I put those cards in backwards. So I am going to flip them because they're not supposed to be like that. But that we first had the Queen of Pentacles, so I will acknowledge that. So if it comes out again, we'll know. Spirit, what is it that you would like the collective to know that is happening with our mindset? I heard the top three: the Sun, the Three of Wands, and the Three of Swords is here. Right. The Sun is here. You know why? The Sun is here because we've been in darkness. The Sun is here to highlight the things that we have not been able to see. The things that we've been waiting on, Spirit is now revealing to us what it is that we need to see. Because we have not been seeing things clearly because we've been in this Three of Swords energy. We've been in this heartache and pain. And we've been so focused on the pain that we have not been seeing what has been changing around us. We have not been noticing the changes that have been taken in place. And now we're starting to see it plain as day because we now have no other choice. We have no other choice because guess what? The sun is bright. The changes that we are seeing is brighter than what we're used to. So it's the same as when a person is a happy-go-lucky person, and then all of a sudden they're depressed. And then when they realize, oh, this is the thing that's made me depressed, I don't have to be depressed anymore. They change their perspective. They change their outlook. And they recognize, oh, so when I see this happening, I know why it's happening. Now I can catch it. So when that thing starts to do that thing again, you stop it in its tracks, because no, I'm not going back into depression anymore over this thing. I have power over it. It does not have power over me. Next card, Three of Pentacles. It's in reverse here, and I'm going to keep it in reverse. This Three of Pentacles, working together. But what I'm hearing is that something was working against you, but now it can't work against you anymore. I just heard it's something that was working against you cannot work against you anymore. Why? Because you're in this new energy. What does the sun do? The sun is a ball of gas that turns into fire. The sun literally consumes the darkness. Fire consumes whatever is thrown into it. That's why we have ash. I'm hearing to keep these two cards. Four of Cups. We are now paying attention to the cup that Spirit has offered to us, has been offering to us, that we previously have not been paying attention to. Why? Again, the sun is highlighting it. And we have the Knight of Pentacles. Knight of Pentacles is when you have things coming towards you. This is your pentacles are now being brought to you. You're now starting to see the fruits of your labor. They're starting to sprout up, and they're sprouting up boldly. And they sprout up boldly because, just like this Four of Cups here, I know you see the symbolism. I know you see the similarities in the cards. I'm not even going to talk about it too much. You see the similarities. These, even with this, it's not as prominent, but it matches the spikes on this sun card. You're starting to pay attention because everything is starting to align for you now. And because you are aligning yourself, you're starting to pay attention to things that you previously were not paying attention to. Ace of Pentacles. Something new is coming in, I'm telling you. It's all coming in new, because those things that you previously was not paying attention to now has to grab your attention. It is now showing you that it is the appointed time. It is your aligned time to experience new things now. And we are in a new season. We're in Gemini season officially. Like, we're in a new season, literally and spiritually. And I even heard figuratively as well. Figuratively speaking, you're in a new season. So what type of figures are you thinking about? What type of figures are you dreaming about? Page of Cups. Even love is showing up. For some of you, love is showing up. Somebody bringing you some love. New happiness, because it may not have to be somebody too. It could just be newfound happiness in the things that you previously were going against. Two of Pentacles. Yeah, you've made some decisions. And because you've made some decisions, the things are working out in your path. I'm looking at this card because this person is sitting up against what would appear to be like a wheel of fortune. But I'm really paying attention to this person being near this bottom row here. Mountains. Let me get this clear off. Yep. See the person here up against the mountains. And then you have this one big triangle here, pyramid here, however you want to say. You're finally reaching the peak of the mountain because you made a decision. When you, just like I was stating earlier, when you decide to pay attention to yourself, the road that you take for your life, everybody can't go. They're not equipped with it. It is not meant for them to go. It is your road is an allergen to somebody else. Let me put it that way. When you recognize that your road is not an allergen to you, it will be an allergen to somebody else, meaning they can't do it. They can't go through it the way that you went through it because it was made for you. And people would tell you to try to deter you from your path because they have an allergy to it. They can't do it. And because they can't do it, they're saying, "Oh, well, you can't do it either." Like, no, 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 that's not. You shouldn't do that because when I tried it, it everything failed and nothing went right, and I was always having problems. So, like, no, 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 you don't want to do that. But in here, you're just like, oh, but that's what excites me. That's what gets me going. That's what keeps me motivated. Go for it. Again, just because this person can't do it does not mean that you can't do it. Sometimes you have to defy the odds that come against you because not all odds look like odds. They come in the form of wise counsel. They come in the form of, hey, let's talk. Let's talk for a second. There's some things that I've been noticing. It's that control factor. It's that I want to control you because I don't believe that this is for you. Well, how can you tell me what's for me if it's happening in my body? Excuse me. I told y'all I was late. It's the same way as when I told, if you watch this episode in Cards and Conversation, how I was saying, like, as somebody who worked in the STD testing field, I would tell people you can't depend on your partner for your test results because what's happening in your partner's body may not be happening in yours. And I had to put it this way. If your friend has to go to the bathroom, can you go to the bathroom for them? And vice versa. If you have to go to the bathroom, can your friend go to the bathroom for you? Everybody's answer, no, they can't. Exactly. So what's happening for you is not happening for them. What's an allergen to them may not be an allergen to you. So what is this path that you're not taking because people are telling you, I wouldn't do that? Or I don't think that's for you. What is that road less traveled for you? Excuse me. That other people steer away from and take the road that everybody goes on. What is that popular thing that everybody's going towards that you don't have an attraction for, but you feel like you should do it because everybody's doing it? If it doesn't feel right in your heart space, in your aligned space, then don't do it because that's not for you. That's an allergen for you. And so collective, Spirit is saying you're now starting to awaken to what's truly for you and what's truly not for you. So don't be afraid when you stop doing things. Just keep moving. Just keep going. I'm going to bed soon, I promise y'all. Spirit is saying keep moving forward. I'm even seeing arrows everywhere. It's like once I give you a sign to go, go. Even if that means you have to go by yourself. Because that is meant for you. It's not meant for anybody else. Because when you start to see your struggle change, that lets heaven know that you're deciding to walk the path that's been given to you. So collective, reflect on what is that path. Reflect on what is the path the Spirit is taking you. Reflect on what everybody says you should do and shouldn't do. And then weigh that on the scales of your heart. Weigh on the scales of how does that make you feel, not emotionally, but spiritually. How does that feel to you when somebody says, oh, you're supposed to be working in a factory? Now, if you know your gifting is in the arts, say music, writing poetry, I'll even say being a seamstress, right? And the thing that you see or that is drawn to you, or how can I put it? The warehouse job is requiring you to work with wood. Let's say that. How does that fit in with the music and the artistry and the seamstress? Being a seamstress. Let me put it that way. How does that all tie into being a woodcutter? It doesn't, unless you're an artist, right? That works with sculpting. Um, but if it doesn't align with your natural gifts and abilities, or is able to draw that out a little more, that is not for you. That is not for you. And you won't feel right. And you will not do a good job. You do an okay job, right? But it's something different when you have a job that pushes you from your motivational space, that pushes you from your heart space. You're going to do things differently. And that is the difference, collective. Spirit wants everybody to be their best selves, but they have to be in alignment and truly know who they are. Truly know what they want. Truly know who they are becoming as they are doing self-reflections. Yeah. So do your self-reflections. Know who you are to your core and do what you truly have been called to do. Thank you all for watching. I apologize for the yawns. I told you it's super late. I am going to bed right now. In fact, I was on my way to bed, but I said, nope, I got to make this video. So thank you for tuning in. And I will see you later tonight for Cards and Conversations. Good night.